But yeah, the moment I unlocked everything, that was the then relatively cool stuff. Um, the thing I shouldn't criticize in global events, in question mark events, were the ornaments I would find for the for Las Vegas for the big projector to make the entire environment like the ornaments I found. Um, the reason why I shouldn't judge those is because they are not made for me. They were too complicated for me. It's puzzle solving, paying attention, and all of that. Um, I will I solved all of them, right? So I'm not that stupid, okay? It's just a lot of energy I would rather spend somewhere else. But I will criticize the last two of them um, because they both had an event, literally event, um, that you mostly would only spot if you knew it was there. Because the event was in an environment where the blue that normally would let the event um, that would hard contrast the vent so you would spot it easier. That blue tone was not easily visible. And the vent was in one mission even at the top instead on a wall. It was on a roof, so you would have to look up, which was uncharacteristic of every vent we have encountered before that point. Um, I I really enjoyed the fighting pits side missions. The storyline of the Enduring, getting the Enduring hyped up uh, in those missions was really nice. You know, it's something the game failed in other aspects, but in this little quest, ongoing side quest, it was really nice. Just like the Osram side quest, that was also really nice. It That one was more focused on getting the player out there to explore the world, right? Especially facing off against really difficult enemies. Then rewards the player with really strong armor, which I have not found an armor that is better than from that Osram questline. Um, Yeah, but like I said, the fighting pits, the questline of the Enduring, really nice, especially since it surprised you, since you only saw big bulky mens in that questline. You only fought male opponents in that questline. Suddenly, the Enduring is a woman. Nice little surprise there. And she was somewhat hard to fight. The reason why it was only somewhat is because the second fighting pit I did, the one in the Sky Clan was that, and the last one in the Mud Clan or whatever, were really uh were really these strong ones where the game actually set you down um and teach you how to fight in melee. If the game didn't do that, I would have never learned to fight in melee. Like I even it became like before when I did melee attacks, it was a meme move because I thought like here, like, yeah, this is only a level 1 grunt. I can easily just 1-2 smack him, you know. But he completely owns me. So I rather go for range attacks and, bro, for for like 4% of his life, I need 5 hits. Yeah, and then you learn how to do the combos and how to increase your damage through those combos, or stagger the enemies to make them vulnerable um, for those weakness hits, those blue hits, or to opening them up to override them. That makes it really nice, especially when I found the rhythm for Claw Striders to heavy hit stagger them. When I found that out, I had a so much easier time dealing with Claw Striders, because before they would perma rush me and I would be there dodging, barely hitting my arrows, constantly being stressed about being prepared for the next dodge. But the moment I found out how to use the attack windows to heavy hit and stagger them, bam. It became so much less stressful and almost easy, I want to say, to fight Claw Striders. And those are the winning moments you really want in these video games. So really nicely done there. In 2 points, actually. Even so, I spoke about both. Because on one hand, it makes it felt me as a player like I learned it on my own. Even so, it was a developer-controlled event with those quests that teach me it. That's the first point. And the second is because it's a developer-controlled event, it's a safety net to get a player to properly learn those things if he wants to, because the hunting grounds are all optional, of course. Then, yeah. I guess a sad point in general, though, is when I found myself to be very disappointed with the main quest. I reached a point where I just sat down and said, hey, I'm gonna do side questing. I don't really feel like continuing the main quest right now because it's so bland and boring. I think I'm gonna look at the side quests, at the overworld, because even so the main quest in Zero Dawn was pretty good, the overworld really topped over the game in its immersiveness and its awesomeness in general. It was really supporting the main story and the entire environment. I found maybe 5 side quests that were not boring, that were interesting and engaging. But the best part is that one of the negatives I heard from media, reviewers in general, was that this game was too heavily politically driven. It needed to include gay stuff, or would be omega women empowering. And while that is and the woman stuff is mainly true, I don't really saw any other themes heavily pressed. Yes, the Sky clan is the gay clan and had two quests with gay characters that openly stated that they were gay. you know. Or, no. One talked about how he was highly adaptive, trying new things, not necessarily um, just looking at a man has to. He was hinting at a man has to uh, always befriend a woman and mating a woman, that he is open for other things. But the main thing he pushed was rather, you shouldn't just look at male armor. Be open. Like, I got laughed at the when I put on a woman's armor, but I can be so agile in this shit. I can climb every mountain there is. There's no one in this clan that can climb better than I can in this woman's armor. And I found that really nice. That is how that shit should be done. You know? And the other one was a big bulky man like the clan leaders suddenly telling me he was in a gay romance and he misses his partner. I was like, okay, kinda weird to bring that up, bro, but whatever. Yeah. Then Ayla sympathized with him because, it's just under the umbrella of he lost a loved one. It is what it is. So there was no real oppressive stuff in that category. So that was a nice surprise. And then, of course, the game towards the end had to diminish that opinion of this game. Each time this game wins a point, it has to lose 2 points. That's the rule. When they had to rip apart here, I want to say Hakon, but no, it's here, the blue guy here, the big leader of everyone. That has heavily bashed. Why does my memory fail me so hard today? You might be thinking, hey, you have been talking so much about stuff that is quite accurate and such, but I have to generalize so much of this game because halfway through my arguments, my brain fails me and I have to be relative or vague in general in order to make even half the sense I want to make. And that is, got distracted and forgot what I wanted to talk about. I talked about gay stuff and how it's not there. Yeah, woman empowering stuff. Right. Even so, mainly it was silence that got the masculized. Oh, I don't know the correct word. It was some rhyme of masculinity. Yeah, because when he came to the bunker, everyone just disrespected him hard, and I didn't expect Aloy to chime in so hard. The first time she was the main aggressor for that, right? But when they all were in the projector room where Gaia residented in, when she followed up on who talked, someone was really talking shit and saying, yeah, Silence, you know what to do. You're a big stupid man and all of that. It was such a dumb scene that only a teenager would approve of. And yeah. What else? But otherwise, the game actually made a good job of empowering each and every character. I think the only character that really came short was Aaron. Because Aaron was a little bit too dumb, you know? Because his first introduction was as a vanguard, someone who is strong, who is not necessarily independent, since he relied heavily on his big sister to show him the way. And but he was more of a goofball this game. He was the one who liked the abstract music, the cringe death metal music. He was the one who only knew how to swing a hammer and how to drink. But Aaron had his smart guy moments on the missions he took him with. I just found him to be a little bit too disrespected in the downtime areas. But other than that, each and every single one of the characters was freaking awesome. Especially Val. Because Val at the very first in the tutorial mission was weird. I didn't really know where he came from or who he are. And I identified that since, I only had the data from the first game. And we didn't really get to know Val in the first game, or any character really. And so, yeah, I sat back and let him develop, and I really liked Val. And I guess this is a moment for me to shit on general character development for NPCs in this world, because the one thing that really grinded my gear is everyone is happy. Everyone is at minimum positive about what the future will bring. If someone will owned and destroyed. Yeah. Everyone was way too happy. Like, it didn't matter if the water supply was cut. No. Depression isn't a thing. Or an army of machine comes. A smile on my face isn't too bad. The literal machine that produces our food is malfunctioning and doesn't work anymore. It ain't that big of a problem, dudes. Let's just sing and accept our fate. It's like the nature said, the old must go for the new to rise. At least those guys, they had it accurate in their meme. For the in what they stand for and everything. Man, I had so much trouble fighting at this point. But yeah, trauma and negative feelings didn't really seem to have a place in the world of NPCs in this game. The only one that felt offended by something was Aloy. So, in a sense, that made her the only real human character that wasn't a main character cast. But yeah, if only NPCs are there to have any score to orientate yourself on, that is not a hard part to set. But I contradicted myself anyways in that statement, because I made the distinguishment between main character and NPCs in order to distinguish out Val. Why do I want to name our Osram companion Ben now? Huh? Why is he a Ben suddenly in my brain? Kotaru and everyone else in the bunker. Let's cut it short. I don't need to name everyone. How many times did I fall to my death here? Holy shit. Um. Anyways, it's what the frick? Press right mouse button, not the switch scene button. Right. Huh. Now talking about it, it seems like every companion you had in the main base, instead of portraying like one personality trait, in a way, errant. Now my brain says errant to him instead of Ben. What the frick, man? Um, yeah. In a way, errant is one of the best examples of a goofball that fights and is really lovable, right? But the other characters suddenly became incredibly one dimensional in my brain, now that I have thought about it. Like War became is the always understanding, open for new stuff kind of character. Like his woman is the reformative. Like I mean, at some point she tried to make a vegetarian out of Wall. That is never going to happen, right? Um, yeah, she's basically the plant expert, and could Kotao had the biggest hit in my mind because I really like Kotao because he is this battle-driven maniac, right? He is not necessarily a maniac, but he is someone you want to be behind in a battle. Because even so errant, you definitely want Aaron to have your back or be in front of you. Um, but Kotaro is someone, almost slipped up there, nice, is someone you know that if the battle goes wrong, he will have a plan to stabilize or fight a different day. Um, but our scientist buddy here, the other girl that we found, Alva, is bro, she is way too happy. Like I have found people in real life that are like her, but thinking about it, she is way too happy. But at least she gets explained in this story, you know? When we are in the greenhouse and we find the biofuel converter from Pharaoh, she tells her that is knowledge that is so terrible, so destructive, that she doesn't even want to know that shit. She knows that if she gets home, that will at minimum be considered forbidden knowledge. And now she is burdened with, like, who is she even gonna tell about this thing? She doesn't want to tell anyone because this is a terrible weapon. And there's nothing good about this thing. And that explains also why she is this always positive person. Because she doesn't want to think about negative things. At least that is the manifest she made in her brain while undergoing the training that she did. And talk about an over-designed opening of a box. Let's look at that again. More is better. Bruh. One wrench in that bitch, and you have to repair so many servo motors and switch out gear. Bruh.